Hello, this is my week 8 video. For question number 1, 3 things that I'm thankful for, I would say my husband. He's always there to support me no matter what I'm going through. The second thing I'm thankful for is my dog. She's always there to cheer me up or lighten the mood, whether it's because I had a bad day or I didn't get the grade that I wanted on an assignment. She's always there to boost my mood in whatever situation it is. And then the third thing I'm thankful for is my faith and being able to rely on God and lean on Him whenever I'm worried about something or am anxious about something. I can always go to Him and pray to Him, and I always feel a little better afterwards. So I'm super thankful for that. For question number 2, I made it through 7 days on the SPENT game, which isn't very much, but that kind of leads us to the social determinants, which in my opinion really restricts what we can have and not have in life, whether it be because you can't afford rent for a certain apartment that's close to work, or whether it be because you can't afford health insurance because your job doesn't pay enough, or because what you do make from your job has to go towards something else that's a necessity. It really just restricts what you can and can't have because of economic costs or really anything. And so one thing that I experienced in the game was having to choose whether to live closer or further away from work, and that also determined travel expenses. So if I chose to live further away from work, rent was lower, but it had higher travel expenses. And if I chose to live closer to work, then it was higher rent but lower travel expenses. So that's just really something that you always have to think about. If one thing costs more, then that takes money away from another thing that you may need. And the last thing that kind of took all the money out of my bank account was like an emergency thing of whether or not to save a family pet or not. So that's something that can be difficult because of social determinants, is having to pay so much for rent or so much for health insurance that you don't really have an emergency fund that you can pull from without it causing a lot of stress and uncertainty in your life. And for question number 3, I chose balance as the attribute that's super important to me. I think it's always important to know the risks and the benefits so people can truly weigh the pros and the cons of whatever they're thinking of doing. I think it's always good to lay down what's good and what's bad about the communication so that it's not biased. If we put out everything that's good about it, then it's going to seem like everything's great and nothing can go wrong, but there's always a few risks with everything. So I think balance is super important. For question number 4, I recently saw a commercial while watching TV that was trying to persuade people to buy a product that would reduce back pain. And then for question number 5, a snudger that I could do to help me in my life would be to pre-portion food before plating it so that I don't just serve my plate by the looks of it or based on how hungry I am, so that I don't get too many servings of that certain dish.